Welcome to a little tomfoolery, Rob Little and Tommy Ryman. A podcast filled with laughs and gaffs, guffaws and haws, and maybe a picture of a dog. A little tomfoolery, a little tomfoolery, a little tomfoolery. A little tomfoolery, a little tomfoolery, a little tomfoolery. Fools!
Good morning, good day, and good evening. Welcome to A Little Tomfoolery with your hosts, Rob Little and Tommy Ryman. And it has been a while, Tommy. What happened?
It's been a crazy couple weeks. We're going to get to it. Welcome to Tomfoolery. I'm Tommy Ryman. That's Rob Little. Hello, Fool Nation. We're back. Sometimes we go away, but we always have good excuses. There's reasons why. I think we should start with you, Rob. First off, where are you going to be? We don't even know where you're going to be. That's the last thing I was updated because you're supposed to be on a ship right now.
Yeah, that's where I'm supposed to be. But they should we get into it?
Yes.
Or do you want to? Or let's just say where we're going to be. I'm going to be home. I got two unexpected weeks off, and I already got proposition for some for some theaters, so I don't think I got to do anything but comedy, but they still asked in a sexy way.
That's cool.
Yeah. Where are you gonna be coming up?
Well, I'm excited. I don't know when this is gonna go up, but this weekend I'm opening for my buddy Paul Hooper at Sisyphus Brewing, starting Friday and Saturday. We have one show Friday, one show Saturday, and tickets are pretty much almost sold out. So if you hear this, by the time you hear this, they probably will be sold out. But it's going to be a super fun show. I haven't seen Paul for years, so I'm stoked. I got him out here.
If you ask me, that will be the best show Sisyphus has ever had.
It's going to be a good one.
It will be the best, but number one show. Best
but
show.
if you're looking for another show, Rob Little will be in his kitchen at 8 p.m. Friday and Saturday doing bits.
Maybe I will do some stuff like that. I'm playing with some new things, so maybe I'll get on and just play around. Dude, I had something. Okay, so I have done 193 cruises to this date.
Wow.
And I was on a ship. Let's say it's Norwegian, and we were in the Dominican Republic, and we were getting ready to leave. This was our first port, by the way.
Okay.
And we'd already been on a sea day, so we're into the third day. We're getting ready to leave. Now, when a ship leaves or enters a port, there's a thing called the pilot, and that is a person that knows that port. And you usually see it on a little boat. They're in a little boat next to the ship, and they're following you in. Well, what they do is they come up close to the ship. The guy jumps on the boat and then comes up to the captain's, to the bridge, and steers it in for him. Because it isn't that the captain isn't prepared, but he might not know the channel and all that stuff. So that's what the pilot, that's their job.
Okay.
Never mess this up. Well, in the Dominican Republic, this guy, I don't think they've been getting a lot of cruise ships, so they wanted us to stay. So this guy, the tide was low, it was a super windy day, and the channel was narrow, and he put us right up on ground.
Wow.
And you felt it. It was like doo-doo-doo. And you're kind of like, what the heck was that? And then you don't really, to be honest, we weren't really paying attention. And then the next thing I know, there's like 2 tugboats out that look like Maynard from Cars or whatever his name is. And they're trying to push us off of it. One's pulling, one's pushing, and they're taking turns, different angles, all this different stuff. And they are, this is one of the biggest ships in the fleet. So no way they're moving this. So finally, after like maybe a half hour, they gave up, and we're stuck. We're literally stuck. Now, we didn't think nothing of it, to be honest. We thought, the tide will come back in and we'll have enough and we'll take off. 3 days later, the captain's like, everybody off, because they found out that they think there's damage. They know there's damage because one of the hulls what are they called? Ballast. It's what that takes in water
Mhm.
and like is used for the ship, like for drinking and all this stuff. It has a filter and all this stuff. Well, there's 3 of them. This is what I was told. I'm not 100%. They said there was 3 compartments. If all 3 get damaged, this boat is sinking.
Wow.
We had 1 damaged and it took on water.
Oof.
But they can close it off. So you could still sail with that, but they don't want to risk it with
if any other now you're-
4,000. Yeah. So Norwegian had a hell of a job ahead of them. They had to rebook everybody's flights home from the Dominican Republic. And their airport's like, I don't even know. Have you ever flown into Flint, Michigan airport? It's about the same size
the little
as that.
tiny, about two ports or whatever,
about
2 gates.
five gates.
Yeah.
So they're trying to book. So they pull in all these charters. There's airlines coming in that we never even heard, like that have been gone for years. Like there was one called EastJet or something like that.
That's all I fly. I'm platinum with EastJet, and then I go from there to the Dominican.
Yeah.
And then to Milwaukee.
We thank you for letting us use your planes because I actually flown American. They had we got out on that, but luckily we were on the guest manifest because otherwise we'd have been stuck on the ship, I think.
Because the crew stays on the ship no matter
the crew's on
main crew.
Yeah.
But, so they did get the ship moving though within a day, right? To properly
3 days.
Port it. It literally took
maybe after the first day or second day, like you could, like they kept trying to do it at night, but we were in bed and you're like feeling this, you know.
Wow.
And I think I woke up and we were back in port, which they just pulled us back in and maybe 100 yards out we were.
So you guys just got off like normal. You didn't have to get on boats to get to the port.
No, we didn't tender in or out. So
that's what that's called.
Tender. Wow. Yeah, like the
app. So many.
Whoa. Man down.
Yeah, my house just ran aground, clearly.
So they pulled us right back into port, and for 2, they must have did that the first night because for 2 days people were getting off and doing stuff at that port, which after a while there wasn't really a lot to do there.
No. Do you get to yell at the guy that ran it aground? Like is he standing there like, I'm so sorry? Like,
okay.
I feel like as everybody gets off, they can be like, this guy, the captain.
We never saw him. But the other comic was Brandon Vestal. Do you know him? Very fun. Very funny, but very low and dry. So we couldn't be more opposites. So 2 of my shows, we still had to do all of our shows.
Mm-hmm.
So one show, I just took nothing but questions. And I said, I know every answer. So whatever you guys want to find out. And I'm just obviously making stuff up.
That's
one
awesome.
show, half of the time I acted as the captain.
And
I went, and just stood there for about 5 minutes, just holding my head, making that, you know how they do that when they come on. And those are 2 of the most fun shows I've ever done on a cruise.
I bet.
People were asking the funniest questions, and I was just coming up with all kinds of crap. But so they ended up flying us home, but a lot of people got stranded. Some people had kids that were booked on different flights than that. Yeah.
That's a mess.
It was a mess, and I feel bad for a lot of people. And during this time, I don't know if you saw my post about this, but there was one girl, I tagged the ship. And she's writing me. You remember this?
Yeah, I've told it, but I want our listeners need to hear the story.
Okay, so this girl is like writing, and she's on the border of becoming a Karen, and her actual name is Karen. So she's like going off on me, kind of like, it's BS that Norwegian's not even calling us. She actually said that. She goes, it's BS that Norwegian's not notifying next of kin of what's going on with their family. And I go, honey, if they notify next of kin, your family's no more. I mean, that means they have passed, And so she was like, well, my parents are on there and they're in their 80s and they don't have internet. And I goes, they actually do have internet. And she goes, well, then they don't know what they're doing. And she goes, is your room by them? And then she told me the room, and I was like, not even close. They're like up on the top decks. And I said, and I looked up her page just to kind of see, like, I'm like, oh, what's this Karen look like, you know? And she's from Michigan, and so are her parents. And I'm like, well, now I gotta help. So I said, where's the room? And I went up and talked to them, and immediately they were like, it was like helping your grandparents try to get online and everything. And once I got them online, they were flooded with all kinds of emails.
Yeah, it's like ding, ding, ding,
yeah. And so I took a picture with them to let her daughter know they were okay and stuff. And then the dad was so funny. He pulled out an old address book. Like when you were a kid, I don't know if you had them, but we had them when we were kids, and you'd have like everybody's number and address written down it. He had me write my name and number and address down.
Yes. That's great.
It was funny. And so they're both hugging me on the way out. It was cool. And it only took me a couple minutes. It really wasn't that long. But man, I felt sorry there's a lot of older people and they're really struggling. And Norwegian, I think it's something that never happens.
Yeah, I'm sure they have all types of protocol for things, but just getting it in action and trying to book it, and depending on which port, it's got to be nuts. I'm sure there was some guy down in an office that was like, oh man,
yeah,
this is the day I dreaded.
Yeah,
but it's still impressive, even in 3 days, that they can get everybody off a ship, get them on these flights, get them like how they do it. But I'm sure they pay them back for that cruise, give them another free cruise.
Everything was free on that cruise for them, and they give them a whole nother cruise for free.
But did you figure out your situation?
So I just found out literally like this morning. But real quick, when the captain must have been on a schedule, because they're losing money. They're losing, like, they've already lost the next 2 cruises. So that's a lot of money. Plus they are putting out all this money and giving free cruises away and all this stuff. And they got paid like us. And we weren't sure if we were going to get paid because I'm supposed to be my contract was 3 cruises, and I'd started the contract. Well, they have a thing in there saying if they cancel within 14 days, you get paid. And so
good.
I'm getting paid. But it isn't like I get paid all at once. I get paid after every, like, if the cruises had gone on. So
but that's fine.
Right. I was pretty giddy about it. So I'm basically on 2 weeks paid vacation right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's the right thing to do. It would be really frustrating if they didn't, but so I'm glad that.
Yeah, I'm glad they did too. But they were supposed to have shuttles waiting for us when we got back to Orlando, because they got to take you back to Port Canaveral, which is, 45 minutes away. Well, I show up, it's like a ghost town. There's nothing. No. But I had made friends with some people, and they'd flown in earlier, and they said, yeah, there were shuttles. There were people with signs. I goes, well, anybody later, they just were like, sorry about your luck. So I just had to Uber it, but they reimbursed me. It's all good now, but man, it was scary. It was not scary, but I felt bad for a lot of people, but during it, like, nobody really, it was like, oh, we're stopped, but everybody was making the best of it. They were still doing our shows, like the main stage shows. Every show was still going on for them. They were putting out bigger spreads because they were trying to make everybody happy. But wow,
I was confused at first because I think you posted like, I don't know what's going on, or like some. And then you're saying like, oh, I got to do a COVID test. So I go, oh, is there a big outbreak? And now they're trying to get back. And then it ran aground. But I think they just constantly test you guys.
No,
when you get on the ship or off, or
they had to test every single person to go back to the States from the Dominican Republic.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. And so that's why you're like, I'm waiting on my COVID result or whatever.
Yeah, that was a bit of a nightmare too. Just more like because you had to wait a long time. But you know how people are there. I actually put one lady in her place because she was like, when people start saying negative things, it kind of spreads, like people are like, oh, don't, whatever it was. She said, Well, all I know is I'm getting a lawyer. And I piped right up and said, what are you going to tell him? You got a free cruise and another free cruise after that? And she just kind of looked at me, and everybody else was like, yeah. And then all of a sudden, all the good stories started coming out of like what they did on their excursion, and it was nice because what she was about to start was a big riot of people just griping.
Right.
And we don't need that right now. We're all in the same boat together. We're all literally in the same boat together. So
yeah.
But anyways,
things like that are frustrating. But here at the Full Nation, we always look for the positive, right,
yeah,
Rob?
that's what I was. Yes, 100%. Very cool. So what'd you do these last 2 weeks, man? You had some stuff going on, right?
I did. Well, I had a birthday. So
Yeah.
I turned 39. I was in town for.
Did you get any good gifts?
For sure. Oh, did I get any good gifts? Boy, can I show you what are my favorites?
I mean, if
that
you
I
want,
got?
if it's in there.
Oh yeah, it's here. I should have had it ready, but I like to look at it, so it was across the desk. But I got this. Somebody sent me this. Oh, geez, this lunchbox. Everything's falling apart over here. It's a Superpowers lunchbox.
Wow.
Thermos, dude. So when I've got two others of these lunchbox, not Superpowers. I have a Superman one and then a Super Friends. But this, if you get the thermos, that's the important part. Thermos, and it's got the cover. So this is like a full deal, dude. My friend Rob Little sent this for my birthday. I was pretty excited.
I don't know if you remember, but we talked about this exact same one.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh yeah, I don't have that one. And I was at an antique store where was I? Des Moines or something.
Oh, crazy.
And I come across it, and you were on tour in Wisconsin. So I talked to Megan, and I'm like, Megan, run up and see if he's got this one. Nice. And she goes, he doesn't. And I was like, I knew it. And we talked about it. And I remember looking online for this one, but it's way more fun finding it.
I was a little sad because it's coming from Rob Little. I really thought there'd be a sandwich in there. But I bet you maybe you put it in and then you're like, well, I better test it. Oh, I ate a sandwich.
Yeah, there was one, but I couldn't help myself. So plus, I wasn't sure it'd stay warm the whole way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I couldn't get it in the thermos. But that's cool.
Thank you so much.
I'm glad you don't have that one then. So
it looks really cool. That's cool. One of my favorites.
And then I don't know if you saw the posting I did on your page too.
Dude, that was the most epic. Rob made me like a birthday post, but it was like it was all Lego figures, but he created himself. Created me with my wolf sweater. Like I didn't notice it at first. I was like, oh, I thought it was like a generic. He made Angel Olive, which it was like this coolest thing. So I loved it. So
I put a lot of time in that thing, man. And it was a Superman coming out of the cake and everything.
No, all the DC characters, all my superhero. Yeah, it was epic.
I told Megan, I goes, I'm sorry you weren't in there. And she goes, what are you talking about? I was right there. And she pointed at the Wonder Woman. I was like, oh, that's funny.
She wishes.
So yeah, that was fun. And then I made ourselves so we were Lego guys and we were the
Pops figures.
Yeah. Those were hard to find, like, because they have them thing on their website where you can make yourself into a pop figure. But they don't give you a lot of options. So I just went out looking for stuff and drew us, basically.
Oh, wow.
What's your hat say?
Scum and Villainy Cantina. That's the Star Wars bar I like in Los Angeles.
Yeah. At first it looked like I don't know. I was like, is that a fishing hat? It almost looked like it at first. But I'm just wishing my own stuff on you.
Speaking of fishing, this is kind of unrelated, but I also got my taxes done yesterday.
Yeah.
And my accountant, her husband is a pro fisherman.
What?
So she has like little lures that she like hook with the thing on it, that lure. I think but that she'll give away from her. She has also like an insurance company, Allstate Insurance. So
okay.
Which is pretty funny that she's got fishing lure type stuff in her
basket. What's her husband's name?
Don. and I forget his last name.
Probably the same
It's
as
hers.
hers.
Hers is she was previously married. It's Andy Erickson's dad, or Andy Erickson's mom. Her husband
Really?
is the fisherman, and I can look at it's like Don something.
You're
But yeah, he
kidding
does
me.
a lot of he
We
was
had Andy on the show, and we had to talk about Pokemon the whole time. We couldn't talk once about her pro
her
fishing
stepdad
dad.
pro fisherman. I mean, I figured
Oh.
we'd save that for the fishing episode where we bring on Rob's heroes and then I check out. I'm not gonna go to that one. No, just kidding.
Yeah, like I did for that one. I was struggling on that thing. And
But
then
yeah.
you guys are giving me crap because I don't know which Pokemon thing is. And then her dad's a pro fisherman, or stepdad or whatever. Anyway.
It is the dog of the week.
At the accounting office was Andy's moving, but so this is actually Andy Erickson's cat, but it lives in the office now. But this cat's name is Mountain Goat, and he sits on your lap when you are told that you owe the IRS a bunch of money. It's pretty rad.
He's a emotional cat or whatever they call them.
Yeah. So that's Mountain Goat.
Cool.
Super cute. That he was literally she jumped down, and
to me it looks like he's the muscle. He's like, you're gonna owe.
He's like, you gotta pay the state of Minnesota $700 or else. And then he's like, starts licking himself. Like, what?
Starts kneading your knees.
They're moving, so this is gonna look like the office is like in a mess. But so he literally is. His name's Mountain Goat, but he was just on a pile of stuff that they have while she's switching. This was like off in the corner in the other room.
Why do they always want to be on top? It's like they get the view of the room or something.
Yeah, you got to oversee. They want to hunt, probably looking for the birds and rodents that if they're up in the wild, even though he's an office cat, so he's just looking for interns and stuff that he can lunch at.
We had to
take their lunch.
Growing up, we had like a tabby cat that would climb up on the cupboard, then jump on the fridge, then get to the very top of the cabinets and lay up there.
Oh, so yeah, that's how Dragon, my cat, lost one of his legs. He fell off of the fridge.
Oh, that's how he got hurt.
He broke it, yeah, and then it got re-broke in some other way.
Mm.
Did you do your taxes, Rob? Or you're about to?
I got mine back a little while ago. I have a couple things. I've definitely got to pay. I got to pay. Pay more than I was wanting to, but I normally do. You do quarterly usually?
Yeah, but I put some off, and then but now we're back on track officially.
Me too.
But I have to like add to my Roth IRA. I've got to do all this. We had a bunch of home repair for the new house, so it was just like it's been a lot. But things are picking up again, which is nice. And it's if you got to pay in, that means that you're doing okay, which is good. So.
Sounds like we had almost identical kind of what happened to us. We both got houses we fixed up. We both have to rebuild our IRAs.
Yeah.
No, I was just looking into all that too, but I gotta start saving more than spending.
Yeah, that's tough too because there's so many fisherman nutcrackers to get out there.
I think I'm done for a while because not only I did find I just took a quick trip up to Atlantic City, and I went to a antique place up there and found a fisherman nutcracker, and just a little one, but I found them and I was like, that's cool. I don't have them, so that was fun. I love going to. Do you ever do any of that, like antiquing or thrift shopping or whatever?
Yeah, the places I've been going lately, there haven't been good ones, but that's my favorite thing. When I get into a town or a place, I always look for a comic book store or a thrift store, antique stores, because it's just something fun to do during the day, and you can find unique stuff. And it's like, yeah, it's just like stuff in that area that you don't see, or like Florida's always got different stuff than if you're in Wisconsin.
Yes,
it's kind of funny to see what regions have what other people collected.
Yeah, I really thought I was gonna find some cool stuff, but I found a couple cool pinup things that Cass likes to collect, so I got those. But other than that, wasn't a lot. But I've been booking like a madman. I only got like 3 weeks left the whole year. I don't have books.
That's great. More
Yeah.
cruise ships, more clubs, which
All
are
clubs.
balanced.
Almost all clubs. I've got a couple cruise ships, but I mean, I actually turned down some stuff that I was just like, I'm gonna hold out and see if I can get more money. And then a couple big things just came through. So I was like, whoa, I was things I wasn't expecting, you know. Like one of them, that's why I asked you if you had that date open, because it's a big one. And I was like, holy cow, we can both make a lot of money on this one.
Oh, nice. That's
But you were-
May
but
14th.
yeah, but you already were booked. So but that would have been fun because they were kind of known they want usually cleaner. And it was at a racetrack.
Crazy.
Yeah, but they're not having a race. But that'd be crazy if it was during a race.
Yeah.
So we got to you know. That reminds me of one of my very first jokes that I said I had to break up with this girl, but I was afraid to get out of my car, so I just did a drive-by breakup. I just was in a cul-de-sac doing circles, like it's not working out with us, you know, whatever.
Not you, it's me.
Yeah,
my birthday is on St. Patrick's Day.
true.
Which this was the least wild St. Patrick's Day. I think I went to like an open mic and I might have had like one beer and I was in bed by 10 o'clock or something. It was but it was also like a Thursday.
Okay.
But and then I did a comedy contest the next day and I won it based on the phrase. I wrote 5 new minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. So
so they give you a phrase and then there's guys can join and
you spin a wheel. The audience has written down these things and then so each contestant spins a wheel, gets their phrase. Then there's a headliner that comes on and does 20 minutes. And while they're on, you write your 5 minutes of bits on the word you spun.
Very cool. That would be fun.
Yeah. So people came up with some good stuff. And then I won because I'm the best
Yeah,
ever
you're
in
obviously.
comedy.
I mean,
But-
plus how many dudes were there? 2?
No, there's 10 of them.
Oh, there was. Okay.
Yeah.
Open micers or
No, all professional.
oh, okay. Well, that's good. You won. Congratulations. What do you get?
I got $25.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Do you remember what was your first paid gig? Do you remember how much you made your first paid gig?
I mean, I bet it was like $50 or something. I don't remember the first time I remember like going to like doing a Yoder gig or something. So I'm sure it was like feature for 157 hours away.
That
or
was
something, like
your first paid gig was like an actual real gig.
No, I mean that's the one I remember. I don't remember my first, but I'm sure it was a local in town making like 20 or $40 or something for.
My first paid gig was $10.
Nice.
And I performed in front of a fake fireplace. And I only remember because the guy reminded me about it that booked me for it. And he's like, remember? And I was like, yeah, because I actually photocopied the check. He gave me a check for $10. And I was giddy. I didn't care. You know, that was awesome back then.
Yeah, $10. Because I started January 2005. And then that summer there's the amateur contest and you had to never been paid to be in that contest. So basically that summer I didn't take any paid gigs. And then that fall I'm sure I did I like produced my own show and then got paid, but and then I got hired by the club that spring as a house MC.
You just mentioned something that I bet a lot of people don't understand. You said you produced your own show. Now, I never have done one of those where it's like you found like a bar or someplace to do your own show and you booked it with all your buddies or whatever. And you probably made like $50 to $100 or something that the bar was like, here, we'll give you this.
Yeah.
Is that what you did?
Yeah. Because there was some kind of cafe thing. So I think we sold tickets, but I remember having a band and then my mom played and then I had like 3 other comics and then we divided up all the money or whatever. So
that's impressive.
Made 400 divided by the 12 people that were all booked on the show with the band and everybody. So
now, did you have to keep that show running or you just, once you did your show, you're like, I'm done?
That wasn't one I regularly did. I did produce a show that I did Tommy and his mommy at a Bryant Lake Bowl that we did monthly for a while. But it's hard to produce a show. It's hard to book people, then make sure they all get paid,
Yeah.
deal with a venue, promote. Like it's a lot of work. I'd rather
Which
just-
is nice. You even paid people, because most times, like those kind of things, guys will just, it's about getting stage time. So they don't care if
yeah.
you get paid or not, you know? But that's cool. That was cute when you did your Tommy and mommy or whatever. And
Yeah.
now, would you do jokes while your mom played or something?
Well, she would sing a song to start, and then she was kind of like the Ed McMahon to my, like or the sidekick. So
Yeah.
we'd kind of chat. And then
So
I'd
she's
bring
drinking.
the comic on. Yeah. She was wasted.
Wasted.
But yeah, we would just bring some comics on, then we would do like a sketch. Whenever I produced a show, I was always like very on about time. Like I didn't want it to be too long, like everybody.
Right.
But because you want to just keep it going. If you
That's
have newer
cool.
comics too.
I forgot I used to do a cable access show.
Whoa.
I forgot all about that. It was a improv. We did sketches, because once you said sketch, I was like, oh yeah. It was called Loose Change, and it was me and like 4 other dudes, and we would do, it was on cable access. And I remember we followed some lady that was like, I don't know, she tried to run some kind of talk show, and it was horrendous. But I still have a bunch of the videos of us doing this. And we would write sketches and just it was kind of like we tried to do like a Saturday Night Live, but it was not even near the it was
just
horrible.
for public access.
Yes, it was like Wayne's World is basically what it was like.
Cool.
And yeah, that was really fun.
Hey Rob, this just in.
Bringing you the foolish of the fools from his home office in Minnesota. It's Fool News with Tommy Ryman.
In Fool News, on St. Patrick's Day, we've got a good fool. A guy robbed a bank wearing a leprechaun costume. Police said that the gun-toting leprechaun scored an undisclosed amount of cash. You think he would just go for coins or treasure.
Right.
But he did take cash before leaving the bank. He then joined another suspect in a car. I'm assuming some other holiday. So it was either Santa or the Easter Bunny.
Or the Fruit Loops guy.
Yeah, the toucan from Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
Some cereal themed Barney from Fruity Pebbles. The two floods cops spotted the vehicle and gave chase, and a gunfight broke out. Police cruiser was hit by several bullets and disabled. The two suspects crashed, ditched their car off the highway, and fled on foot into a field and then onto some type of rainbow, I assume. Yeah, it does have a darker ending, but I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah, that's all right.
Got on a rainbow.
Aw, did they get away?
Sure. But yeah, I didn't know such crazy things happened during St. Patrick's Day. A lot of robberies, but I guess people are partying and they're like, I need more green beer. I better go rob $500 million worth of artwork or a bank. I didn't think leprechauns. I thought they had the treasure. So you like find it, and he's like, "Don't take my gold." Like,
right, but how do they get it?
So I think they make it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see how they make it. You just see these super buff leprechauns just pounding metal into those anvils. Oh, that would be pretty cool.
I don't know if we talked about this. This is kind of a foolish thing. This is unrelated to the holiday that happened for Valentine's Day. Did we? I swear I might have said this, but at Valentine's Day at the Bronx Zoo lets you name a cockroach after your sweetheart.
We did not talk about this.
Oh, yeah. So they have roaches, and you can, for $15, you can name, a Madagascar hissing cockroach.
Ooh, those are big too.
Yeah. Would Cass be happy if you were like, sweetie, happy Valentine's Day? I named, go to the Bronx Zoo and look at this. It's got your name. That's Cass. And it's just a giant hissing roach.
I think she would, because she liked when I named a stink bug after her.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. That would why did you do that for Megan?
No, I didn't know about it till now, but next year. But
Yeah.
they're probably gonna up the price now that it's all popular. Now I'm paying $50 to name a roach.
Especially if they hear us talking about it. with
Right. Or
millions of
promoting it.
listeners.
This is sponsored by the Bronx
Yes, the
Zoo
roaches.
Name a Roach program. Please fill in the description, Fool Nation.
And now, Fools in History.
Yeah. History fools.
This week in 1906, Ohio passed a law that prohibited hazing by fraternities. And I didn't realize they did hazing that long ago, 1906, but that wasn't even the first state. The first state was New York in 1894 that created an anti-hazing law. Well, you know, they always talk about the bad hazing, but they never talk about the fun, foolish hazing. And so we did some with our fraternity. I was in a fraternity and we did some, but I went online and I found some fun, silly ones that some groups did. And I thought I'd talk about them. Were you ever in a group? Not necessarily a fraternity, but a group where maybe you had to do some kind of initiation?
Yeah, when I was in high school, I was never in a fraternity, but I was part of this. It was a creative writing magazine. But if you would apply to be on the magazine, and if you got picked up, they'd wake you up at like 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. before school, and then like they dressed you up. They had made t-shirts, so I had to wear this weird. They cut the sleeves off of it, and then they brought me. I think I went to the airport and had to read from some, like you just had to do weird, goofy things, and then they took everyone to breakfast. So it was never like scary. There was no drinking, but it was just like
there's a lot of things where you're not necessarily.
And you knew about it, that it was going to happen. Like you're like, oh, I hope I get in, and then if I do get in, then these guys are going to wake me up at 5 a.m.
Right. What was the group again?
It was called Tangents. Was like the.
But what did they
magazine.
do? It was a magazine.
It was just a creative writing magazine for the high school.
You know what I thought you were gonna say? It sounded almost like a job. You're like, so I got in. So they woke me up at 5 a.m. I had a cup of coffee. I read the newspaper and I went to work.
Yeah, it was the wildest hazing ever. My dad combed my hair. He drove me there.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is wild. I'll see you at 5 o'clock.
Well, you weren't in a fraternity, but I could see you being in this fraternity. At the beginning of the pledging process, we had the pledges each buy a pack of Pokemon cards. We then assigned each of them a Pokemon and an attack move. And randomly throughout the semester, we had them battle each other.
Wow.
That's a
rad.
great idea.
Yeah, that's just creative and fun. See, I like hazing like that.
That's what I'm saying. There's
have them finish
hazing.
the whole bottle and see if it'll survive. Like that's not fun.
We did a little bit of that, but we also did some fun ones too. This is another one I think you would enjoy.
Weird.
Put them in a dark room with a strobe light. That was their only light. And then they gave them a jigsaw puzzle and they had to put it together.
That sounds awful. That would be hard.
Right, but it's silly and foolish, right?
Yeah, but that just, I mean, it's a good hazing, but that would be a challenging one.
Yeah, it would. I think that'd be fun just to do
Plus,
with
they'd
us.
be like, finish your puzzle. I'm like, I'm dancing. It's like a techno club.
Right.
Like, Tommy, finish the puzzle. No.
Tommy, I'm sexy and I know it.
Yeah. Which Pokemon character am I? Like, no, let's not. We're doing the puzzle.
Tommy,
now.
attack with your dance moves. But see what I mean? Like these are fun, silly ones. Yeah. I got a few more. We just made kids get out of their comfort zone, like making them sing to sororities. We did that.
Yeah.
We had certain items they had to carry, including a pledge book. We did that also. And then this is basically when I read this, I was like, this is exactly what we did. They had to interview each brother and write down certain facts in their pledge book. And at weekly meetings, they were quizzed to see if they memorized, things about their brothers. It was a way of getting to know your brothers.
Yeah, and then knew the people that you're being brought in with too. Then you bond more because you're like, we both went through that. Yeah, I made a puzzle in the strobe light.
Yeah,
Jerry had a seizure, but they brought him out and learned that he's an epileptic.
I heard this one. I thought this one sounded fun. This was a fraternity in California. They would make all the guys that they'd have to show up like Thursday night was their normal hazing night or whatever they called it. but instead of doing any hazing, they made them go on a big scavenger hunt over like several states, and they only had
What?
they only had 48 hours, and they had to go to other campuses and steal stuff from their competing fraternities
Whoa.
and then bring it back, and they had to have pictures and the stuff they took. So, and then all the brothers had to be in the picture, and they had to, some of them had to be dressed certain ways and stuff. But that was another like team building thing. And
Yeah, that one's elaborate.
we did that. We did something very similar to that. But yeah, these are some fun ones. This one really cracked me up. Every pledge member had to wear jean shorts 1 inch above their knees for every day of the month. If they didn't wave and acknowledge a brother when they passed them, they would have to cut 1 inch off the shorts.
Oh no.
And they said it got pretty funny because by the end of the month. But yeah, you'd be wearing some short shorts, I imagine.
You'd already have your short shorts. Me too, as well. We're big jean short guys.
I would start off with them short. I would just be like, hey, this is
Daisy
me.
Dukes, right?
Yeah.
Is that what they call those?
Double D's.
That's very fun. Yeah, that hazing I can support. I still think hazing's confusing because I don't know who actually officially started it. That's just a weird guy that's like, I'm gonna have these people do weird things. Like, but you didn't do it.
We did one where they blindfolded us. We had some fun ones. One of our funnest ones was they put us all in boxer shorts, and we had to go from every sorority house singing our fraternity songs. I feel like I talked about this.
I've heard you tell it to me. I don't know if you've
Okay.
talked about it on the podcast.
Well, then another one we did was all the pledges. We had to go around campus like on a scavenger hunt looking for things. And during that, we had to get to know each brother and give each one a nickname.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was fun. I'm trying to think. Oh, and then a lot of times we did do a lot of drinking ones, but they were like, we didn't really go overboard on anything. A lot of guys talked about they had a song, put them in a room, blindfold them, and put a song on for I don't know how long, and it was like a horrible song. We did this. We would sit in a room and they'd play the song over and over again, and then like every hour they would come in and ask us things in our preamble, which is kind of like our rules and stuff.
Oh no.
And you'd be going nuts because this song was driving you crazy. But now I hear the song and I'm like, oh, that's so awesome. It was from a scary movie too. So it was, but yeah, those were fun, right? So it isn't always bad. It's just silly, goofy things. There was a bunch of sorority ones too, where they had they would put sprinkles like from a ice cream cone or something. They'd put them in a dark room with just a strobe light, and they'd have sprinkles, and they had to put all the colors in together in a pile.
Oh,
and if they didn't get it right, they had to start over again. And they'd
no.
mix them all up again. But yeah,
it's like team building week.
It's always, yeah, a lot of it was team building, getting to know your brothers and stuff, and it grows you kind of tighter, and you're doing some things that you're like, oh, this is horrible, but the rest of the time it's all like, even our hazing, to be honest, was super fun. And when I look back at it, I was like, I wanted that experience because I loved the movie Animal House.
Right.
So I wanted that. But nowadays you can't do any of it. And it's no fun. I don't even know why people would join a fraternity or sorority now, but
yeah. Well, you just wanted to keep it safe, but is the
yeah, of course,
that campuses are worried about.
Yeah, we kept it safe, but yeah, I get it. Some people,
but you're also like 18 when you're going through this. No one's at their smartest.
I was not, because I transferred and my whole group was almost over 21. So we were older than half of the brothers.
Oh, weird. That's cool though.
So we were buying beer.
So you guys took over and you're
yeah,
like, no,
kinda.
They're like, wait, what's happening?
Yeah, we kind of did. It definitely helped us in the long run because they would, they'd make us go drink, and we were already drinking at that point. So it didn't really affect us like it did the younger guys, but yeah, anyways, I thought that was a fun one, foolish history. And I was like, let's shed light on there's some good groups out there that do fun, silly things too. And there was another group that made all the pledges dress as chess characters, and they played like live action chess.
It's like Harry Potter.
Yeah,
Cool.
that was cool. So that's Fools in History.
Cool.
Yay. And then we tried this new segment and it was kind of fun. So we're going to keep trying it here for a while. We call it Fooling Around, Fooling Around the World. It's where I ask Tommy, they could be pretty much anything, like places you want to travel. Would you do this or this? Bucket list items, things like that. And so I came up with a couple today that I want. It's kind of getting to know Tommy. We do Stump Rob where we find out how stupid I am, but with Tommy, I'm going to take it like, let's see how dangerous you'll go or how far you do this. So these were bucket list items some people would like to do. And I'm going to take these two and I want to see which one you would pick and why. Okay. So would you go vegan for 1 month or get a trainer for 1 month and you got to work out every day? You have to do both of these.
Vegan. The answer is vegan. Going vegan for a month.
Really?
Yeah. There's no way I would do a trainer thing, but yeah, vegan, because Megan's vegetarian. I wouldn't be that big of a stretch to go vegan.
Oh, darn it. I thought that was going to be a difficult one for you.
No way, dude. To be just eating food and then I still don't have to go work out. Right, because I'm just eating the vegan food.
Right, you don't have to. No.
Yeah, that would sound terrifying. I'd get all buff and get scared of myself when I look in the mirror. Like, oh god, who's that strong guy? That's terrifying.
Okay, let's give you a different one then. Let's say you got to swim the English Channel, right?
Yeah.
It's freezing. Could be sharks. Or have to do a tightrope walk between two 40-story buildings without a net.
Oh, I mean, I'm gonna have to swim because my balance is terrible.
Is it?
Would they teach me how to tightrope, where I just got to try to figure it out on my own? Can I just hang? Do I have to stand on my feet? Oh man,
you just gotta get across the tightrope.
40 stories though.
Let's make it a little easier for you. 10 stories.
I think I'd still swim the channel because
you'd still die at 10 stories if you fell.
Yeah, because that one move, but I know how to float for the channel, so I think. And
there could be sharks.
Body fat would be up because of all the vegan food I'm eating, so I'd stay warm.
There you go.
In the cold. Like I should have eaten cheese.
Okay. Let me up this one. There's definitely sharks.
So I'm gonna get bit by a shark?
Maybe.
Well, then I would go across the tightrope if I know I can just like shimmy across it. I can't walk across it because I don't know how to do that. But then I would do that. Are there sharks up in the sky in the building one?
No, but there's birds.
Now there's birds up there? What kind of birds?
Those
a bunch of bald eagles?
Those ones where they dive bomb you, like if you're close to their nest. And
pigeons?
There's a nest on both ends of the tightrope.
I feel like you're trying to make me die in both these scenarios. This is terrifying. Why are you trying to kill me off, Rob?
I'm not. I just like to see which one you're gonna, because you get all flustered and I love it.
Well, I like swimming, so I'd probably swim.
Okay, darn it. All right, I gotta find something that you. Okay, let's say we're gonna try this a different way now. Let's say you have to eat. You're gonna do super bad. So, or super, whatever that was, super size me. You have to eat McDonald's every meal for a month.
Okay.
And you got to eat like the guy did in the show. So you're going to gain weight.
But I get all the toys and the Happy Meals?
Yeah, I'm going to allow that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I gotta give you some fun during it, for Christ's sakes. Or you have to get acupuncture in your eye
God, McDonald's, dude. It's so easy. I would eat McDonald's every day. I eat it every other day.
I don't know why I had this funny view of just like
Jeez.
needles all the way around.
Yeah, no way, dude.
Okay, what about have you ever done yoga?
A little bit.
Have
but
you ever
not-
done Bikram yoga?
That's the room where they make it really hot in the room.
Yes.
No, I never done that.
I used to look for places to do that. So let's say you have to do between Bikram yoga or spinning.
Oh, like it's spinning where you're on the bike?
Yes, on the bike, not just standing and spinning, because I know you would pick that in a heartbeat. Because
No, I would do the bike one rather than Bikram because I like the. I worked with a guy at Barnes and Noble that used to run those classes, and he'd be like, "I picked out the music," and it seems like people really get pumped in those.
it is. It's super fun. I took the classes to teach it when I lived in LA. I liked it so much.
Can you goof around, like get on the bike backwards and be like, "Mine's broke"? Can you do funny stuff?
No, but I'm gonna up yours, make it a little more difficult. There's no seat on the bike.
Ugh. So I just stand the whole time. I can do that. But
Yeah, you gotta stand the whole time.
and I wouldn't mind trying Bikram yoga either. I just know it gets real hot. Don't they like make it like 110 degrees?
It gets so hot that you feel like you're gonna pass out several times. So you wear literally like some guys just go in their underwear. That's it.
And then can you drink water while you're doing it? So you're not because you're probably sweating.
He does want you to drink water, but like they make you do it like in certain intervals. You can't. They try to get you not to do it at certain points, but you can't help it. You have to.
Can you have like a straw so you can literally just constantly drink while you're in the positions? Just like an extra long one. That would be smart.
You can use the one that's like that they put beer in on a helmet. You can get that one. I'll let you have that.
With some Diet Cokes in there. You're just dehydrating yourself. You're like,
yeah.
This is great.
Those
are good ones.
You're
so
welcome.
I'm gonna swim the channel. I'm gonna eat McDonald's, but I'm vegan, so I gotta get vegan McDonald's. This is gonna be complicated when I combine all these, and then I'm gonna be on a spin class with no seat on my bike. That's terrible.
There was something else that you could. Oh yeah, because you can get the toys at McDonald's.
Yeah, I'm gonna get so many Happy Meals every day. Except if I get the same.
You know what's funny?
For a while.
He never gets a Happy Meal in that documentary.
Because he's a grown up.
Yeah.
He's doing his Big Mac or whatever.
Oh.
Well, we've come to the end, Rob.
That was it, buddy.
Where are you?
Oh, so in a couple weeks, I'm doing a little run back home in Michigan. I'm doing a golf course 2 nights, and then I'm doing this other place called Johnny's Place and near Flint, Michigan. So I have to do Michigan like 4 days. Then I fly back to Florida to do a buddy's wedding.
Ooh.
Then I fly right back to Michigan to do more gigs.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm being nice by flying back to do this buddy's wedding.
Yeah, that's nice of you.
Are you ordained?
Yeah, I filled something out because I was gonna marry my sister.
Oh, that's right.
But then I got sick, so I couldn't go to her wedding.
I've done, obviously people know us, and if you don't know, I did Tommy's wedding. That's how I got started, and I've done probably 6 or 7 since then. And really only yours and maybe one other one that was really fun.
Nice.
But this one coming up was gonna be fun because they gave me a ton of stuff about each other that they
wanted. Cool.
So it'll be fun. But yeah, what do you got coming up?
Oh man, I plugged it before, but I'm at Sisyphus Brewing this weekend with Paul Hooper. Tickets are going fast. And then the following week, I'm doing a theater in Fairfield, Ohio. If you're in the Cincinnati area, come drive a little ways out, half hour away to Fairfield. We're doing a theater show, and then I'm off to Portland and Washington. I'm doing an amazing show in Seattle with Kermit Apio at the Everett Theater. That's going to be amazing, but you can always check out TommyRyman.com and get those tickets.
Okay, man, that was awesome. A lot of good information. We learned some fun stuff about each other. And
he's not trapped on a boat anymore. He's back on land.
I know it. Thank God.
This has been another episode of Little Tom Foolery. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for listening or watching, wherever you are. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. You should be subscribed. Share it with some friends. We're trying to get up to that 1,000 subscribers would be fantastic.
I just
Also,
thought of something real quick.
okay,
Shirts will be ordered next week.
cool. And we got a Little Tom Foolery shirts, which may be part of our Patreon. If you want to join our Patreon, you can, it's a monthly fee, but you get a lot of cool stuff. There's posters. If you, depending on the tier, you can end up getting free tickets to shows and stuff like that. So please take a look at our Patreon. But yeah, thank you for supporting and listening. You're all amazing. If you have any other questions, you can always visit littletomfoolery.com for all your Fool Nation questions to be answered. But this has been another episode of Little Tom Foolery. I'm Tommy Ryman. That's Rob Little. Bye, fools. Bye-bye.
Bye, Fool Nation.